Dear Scleroderma, my name is Hollie and I'm 20 years old. Long before I knew who you were, I was a normal little girl growing up in East Grinstead, just outside of London. Having an older sister and two amazing parents, we had a great childhood playing on our block with no cares in the world. We'd play football in the street and just go around each other's houses and go on the trampoline and stuff like that. I still have friendships to this day that I made when I was younger on the playground, which I value a lot.
As she grew up, she became a more caring person. She'd do anything for anyone.
She's got a really good heart, you know, she's a loving child and a lovely way about her. I mean, she's my own daughter, so, but I couldn't want for a better daughter.
Taking after my mother, I developed a passion for hair and beauty. In my mid-teens, I went to college to fulfill this dream. Whilst attending college, I started to notice my joints really hurting me, as well as pain in my hands and feet. And they took me to the doctors, and the doctor told me that I had Raynaud's, and I'd never heard of it before. But the doctor said that it would be fine, I didn't need to take any medicine, and it's quite common in women. So we just went home and just carried on like normal. I later found out that this was your first sign of taking over my body.
Unfortunately, she had to stop the college because of her Raynaud's. Because her hands started, she couldn't hold scissors in the end.
Then things actually started to get really bad. They insisted that they'd done a blood test, but I was quite scared of needles then, and my mum kind of said, "You have to have this blood test now." When I was just 17 years young, I was diagnosed with your most life-threatening form, systemic scleroderma. I felt very confused. I had never heard of you before. I was expecting to go to the doctors, get prescribed some medicine to help me, and then carry on with my normal life. But it seems you had other plans for me.
All of a sudden we're told that, you know, she's got a life-changing disease that could potentially take her life. And that was a pretty devastating thing to hear.
We didn't even have heard of scleroderma. What did it mean, you know?
Some cardiac involvement is actually quite common in scleroderma, but to see severe progressive heart failure, like in Hollie's case, is really quite rare.
I suppose in the beginning we're all in denial. You know, it couldn't happen to a healthy child. I've had her 17 years and she's healthy. And then all of a sudden this happens.
As time went on, the symptoms got worse and my heart actually began to get a lot worse.
We kind of throw our biggest guns at this condition.
She was told she couldn't have a heart transplant and that she wouldn't be strong enough to survive it.
I remember leaving his office and ringing my partner Matt and just in floods of tears with what I'd just been told.
When someone dies, they die and there's a reason for death, but when someone tells you they're going to die at such a young age for something you don't really understand, it's just, I don't know, it's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing.
Hollie is, for such a young person, remarkably robust. She's incredibly strong and she's been through a great deal, but you know, really taken it all on the chin.
She's just such a fighter, so strong, so strong-willed.
We all go through life wishing that we want to do X, Y and Z, but for Hollie, X, Y and Z in later life wasn't able to be done, so it was X, Y and Z had to be now.
I felt like after I'd got told the news that I needed to urgently make my bucket list and think about what I want to do in life and what I would like to experience.
She formed this list, and lucky enough I've got quite a big family that extended themselves to go and raise the money to help us do this.
I was featured in a newspaper and it was all about my bucket list. Everybody started donating, people that I don't even know.
Before all of this, she was just a bright young girl, outgoing, having fun. It was just, you know what I mean, the cool thing, like let's just go and have a laugh sort of thing. Then afterwards it was like, I don't know, apart from being like falling in love with her, it was just like, let's make this girl have a good life sort of thing, you know what I mean? Let's make memories.
Matt and I were able to visit South Africa together, and I even got the opportunity to fulfil my dream of riding an elephant. We would see all sorts of animals, like lions, giraffes. I love animals, and it just made me feel amazing. I visited Orlando Disney World. Swimming with dolphins was amazing. I've always wanted to do it, and they were just such amazing creatures. So it enabled me to carry out all these dreams and make lovely memories with Matt and my family.
You always feel like the clock is ticking. You know, it's never an exact science. Obviously, doctors are telling you that it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be a year and a half, it could be 2 years.
Life is unpredictable. And so once a person's heart is that weak, then anything can happen at any moment. But we were really trying anything possible to try and buck the trend of this failing heart.
And as soon as they told me my options, I knew straight away what I needed to do and what I was going to choose, and that was to have transplant. It
was amazing to know that she was potentially going to have a heart, but then obviously they had to find one that was compatible to her. And that was tinged with complete worry that her life could be ended even quicker.
She had no idea when she would get it. She was put into a hospital bed and just lived her life there. They admitted her directly to the ward. They treated her with intravenous heart failure medication and put her at the very top of the list.
Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go to work, finish at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, go straight up to the hospital, stay there till 10, 11 o'clock at night, go back home, get a couple of hours sleep, start work again at 5 o'clock in the morning.
It could be years waiting. You don't know how long you have to wait for a heart. I got woken up in the morning about 8 o'clock by a transplant coordinator, and she just calmly told me that there was a heart available for me. So the first thing I done is I said to her, can I ring my parents and Matt and tell them what's gone on? And she said, yeah, they've got 2 hours to get here.
And we got that miracle, a miracle call, Skype, from Hollie in the morning saying, Mum, they've got a heart. So we rushed, just dropped everything. We had our bags ready for weeks so we could be there for her.
So many things run through your mind with such precious time.
I mean, Hollie was so excited on the phone. She said, like, you know, I've got a heart, they've got a heart for me. And we said, what? It just came out of the blue. And again, as I say, it was tinged with, you go hot inside because you think, you know, she's got a chance now.
This was a new start with a new life.
It was hard to see her the next day. That was really hard, with tubes out of her throat, her nose, and machines all over the show.
It's hard looking in on your child going through what she's going through. But yeah, she's just got so much courage.
She's such an amazing girl. She's strong. She's just, nobody can believe how strong she's been. Positive, she fights.
She broke all the recovery records. You know, she was amazing. She's up and walking the next day after having a heart transplant. You know, it's just, you just can't get your head around it.
I am passionate about sharing my story and raising global awareness of scleroderma because I want to help others who are living with scleroderma find ways to deal with this awful disease.
She deserves all the credit in the world. She's amazing, and this is why she's trying to help other people. You know, people probably don't even realise they've even got the disease, and we've got to help other people be aware. That's all we want to do as a family, to help other people.
Hopefully people can see from this that Hollie, as a person, is so strong-willed. People can overcome problems and issues in their life, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
I can help other people out there understand what scleroderma is, and it's not this illness that nobody's heard of. Scleroderma, at the age of 19, you forever altered the course of my life. But what you have taught me is to never give up hope, to continue to smile in the hardest of times, and to appreciate the precious moments I have with my loved ones.
Because she's improving so fast, obviously I'm getting excited now. We're living again as a family.
It's really about the bigger picture and not taking things for granted.
Life's an obstacle and you can't run at the first hurdle sort of thing. You've got to hit the brick wall and go through it. It's the only way to survive life.
To have gone through that and to feel the feelings and the emotions that we've all gone through, Hollie and us from the outside looking in, it's been a roller coaster ride, but one that I would take time and time again.
Although you have made my life more challenging in many ways, you have also made me stronger. And so I thank you for that, Scleroderma. Thank you for making me Scleroderma strong.